This ain't Texas, ain't no hold 'em. So lay your cards down, 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 down. So park your Lexus and throw your keys up. Stick around, round, 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 round. Stick around.
So today is March 31st. Beyonce's album, Cowboy Carter, dropped 2 days ago. I just listened to it. I really wanted to be able to give myself space to really receive it. So I took some time and just listened to it, and it's good. It's good. And I just want to talk about it. So this is just everything that's running through my mind just right now about it. I really, really admire and appreciate the artist that is Beyonce. And I really appreciate the way that she has allowed her art to grow and evolve with her. Because I think a lot of times when you are a creative or you have been known for something, it feels hard to step outside of that. And you almost feel like you can't step outside of that. And creativity is something that really is encompassing of all of the elements of who we are, everything that we have learned through our lived experience. And I feel like this album was her way of really showing more of who she is. I think we forget that Beyonce is from Texas, from the South. Like her family is from the South, and those roots run deep in her. And so I really appreciate that she's bringing those elements of who she is and what has made her her into her art. And we've gotten little snips of it in some songs in the past, we've heard little snippets, but it was really, really beautiful to sit and witness her art, and knowing that it's really coming from this place of true authenticity of who she is and what she's been through and where she is now. And it was such a fun listening experience. I obviously I'd heard 16 Carriages in Texas Hold'em, but to be honest, I did not listen to those songs in their full entirety. I listened to snippets because I knew I wanted to really hear the songs within the context of a full body of work and not just as separate songs. So I was familiar with what they sounded like, in addition to some of the other songs that I'd heard people posting about online and everything. So again, just snippets. And I've been hearing little things. I mean, how could you not? Because she dropped this body of work. It's taking over everything. So obviously, people are talking about it. But it still, even knowing those few songs or those few snippets, it still felt like a brand new experience. Listening to it was fun. It reminded me of how I felt when I was listening to when I first heard Renaissance, and then knowing the background that she created Cowboy Carter first. And it's really cool actually, when you think about it from just a creative lens, because it's almost like her deciding to step into this lane and really just embody all of who she is, right? And I love that she said, this is not a country album, this is a Beyonce album. And I would so agree with that. This is Beyonce. You can't put that into a category and try to label it. And I feel like her allowing herself to really open up and the full expansion of her creativity to create this body of work is what I'm sure inspired and led into what we know as Act One, but knowing that actually came after Cowboy Carter. I'm sure it was just a continuance of the emergence of her artistry and where she can go. And so I'm excited to like sit and re-listen to this. I already have a couple songs that are my favorite, just like off the top of my head, what I can think of. I love Protector. I really enjoyed what is it? Two Most Wanted? Let me look because I don't want to get the names all wrong. I know I said Off the Dome, but obviously that's not what this is about to be. Yes, so I enjoyed Protector. I enjoyed the new rendition of Jolene. I thought it was a fun way to reimagine a song that people know. And I really enjoy Two Most Wanted. That's what it was. I enjoyed Two Most Wanted. I liked Levi's Jeans. I really liked Yaya. Yaya was a really fun, that was a fun song. Desert Eagle was like real like sexy and I really liked it. And River Dance was fun and like the end, like just the whole end of the album. I'm like taking a look at it now because I literally just finished listening to it and then had started listening to Renaissance Act 1. And I'm just looking at the flow of it and it's really cool because listening to it, you can see like the transition of artistry. It was like the first half of the album was very much like it felt rich in like history and like the customs of like what we know country music as or what we knew country music as. And then there's a point in the album where it shifts and it's like you're seeing this new take on it. And I loved that she used people who are well known in the country world in this album and the things that they're saying. And I oh my gosh, it was just so good. It was so good. I'm still like, it was really good. And I'm excited to take another listen and another listen and another and another. It was a really, 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 really great body of work. And it was fun to listen to. I have truly, truly missed having music experiences like this, where the album feels like you're experiencing something for the first time and every song doesn't sound like the song that came before it or after it. It really feels like something fresh and something new and innovative, and that in of itself feels exciting. That makes me feel like fired up just hearing her artistry and her creativity. And I think that's the power in creating our art, is you never know who it inspires and how it inspires other people to act. And I feel just inspired in a way to just create my art in the way that I want to create it. It's not about trying to fit into any box or trying to make myself more palatable or digestible for anyone. It really is just about bringing out the true essence of who it is that you are and bringing that and putting it out into the world. And I appreciate just what this album and just what she's doing in general, just with this whole Renaissance concept. I appreciate what she's doing and what she's bringing into our world right now. And I know that there's a lot happening in our world at this moment. It's very it's very chaotic and it's plagued with so much destruction and despair, and it's very ingrained and rooted in white supremacy and there being an oppressor and the oppressed. And I know that there have been a lot of people criticizing some of these well-named people and well-known people for not speaking out against it. And what I think is important to know is that everyone's place in the revolution is going to look differently. It's not always going to be using their voice in the way that we think it should be used. And I believe that art and our creativity is a way of speaking up against something and bringing something new into the world. And I really do believe that through her art, Beyonce innovates and she introduces people to new ways of thinking. She creates conversation and discourse around things that probably weren't being talked about before. And that is a big thing of what this album is doing, because it's forcing people to really look at the constraints that we have put ourselves in these boxes based on genres and who belongs to what genre and how you fit into a certain thing. And if you're not this, then you don't fit. And all of that just breeds this mentality of us versus them. It breeds more division. And really, what we need right now in our world is unity. We really need to see one another as being a part of the whole and being part of one. And this album, I feel, does just that. It blows open any ceiling that was previously placed on what was considered to be country or whatever label you want to place on it. And she blew the ceiling off that and is pretty much like, you can't contain this and try to separate and keep people out, because this is also who I am. This is who we are. This culture and the history that's rooted in this music comes from us and from my people. And this is what I'm going to put out and display and show. And we're going to reclaim this thing. And it just, there's just so much there. There's so much juiciness, so much goodness there. Yeah. And so I'll talk to y'all soon. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.